In this tutorial, I wanted to talk to you about when you are saving in Photoshop, what you need to be aware of, and what to do to make sure that your projects that you are creating are not ruined. So, when we save our work in Photoshop, you've got a handful of options. By the way, the normal shortcut of Command S works just fine when you're doing the saving action because it's always going to bring up a new menu. Okay, so right now I pressed Command S, and when I saved this, it is going to convert it, whatever image I had uploaded into Photoshop, it's going to convert it into a .psd file, which is a Photoshop file. What this matters to you is that when you're working in Photoshop and it creates the different layers of your assignments, when you save it as a Photoshop file, it generally keeps these layers here so that when you come back to your file, you can still edit the layers if you want to. If you save this as like an image file, which I generally have you save them as a JPEG file, it's a type of image, it gets rid of the concept of layers for the picture. Okay? So when we save it as a JPEG file, it will pretty much flatten the picture down into just one single shape, so you can't do any manipulation the way that you could before. You can go back in and edit it, but you can't move the layers around like you had done before. And it gives you an opportunity to change the resolution, the quality of the picture. Sometimes keeping it high can be helpful for you, but if this number is really high, as in over a megabyte, like if this said 1 point something M, then you might want to um, maybe lower the image quality just a little bit. The reason why that matters is that when you're uploading or if you're printing this picture, it will make it it'll make it pretty difficult for you to be able to do those things in a timely fashion. So when you click OK, it saves the file. Now we saved this as a JPEG file, but if you notice over here, it's still us working in our Photoshop, okay? Because when it did save this, it saved it as a copy as a JPEG file. If I want to save this and it keeps it as a Photoshop file, then when I click save, it will turn this into a Photoshop file for us to be able to access later. Okay, so then when you're opening files, you can find them, and something that you can use to help you is that if it's a Photoshop file, it'll end in .psd. If it's an image file, most of them end in .jpg or .png. And there you go. So make sure that when you save your work, you save it appropriately so that you don't lose out on any of your stuff. I would hate to have you do a lot of work, come back and go, "Oh, I can't move the I wasn't done with the cat. I wanted the cat to be over here and no, it's over here now and I saved and my saving did not work the way that it needed to." So when you are uploading these files, make sure that you are selecting the correct one, which is why it can be kind of important that when you are saving your work, that you name it something that's going to be helpful for you to find it later.